Hello sim captains and crew, welcome to the audiobirdxp 737-700 Ultimate. In today's video, we perform a takeoff and departure procedure in the 737 NG series.
Here we go. Honestly, I probably never gave 110%. Every time anything gets hard, I started giving it. Know that I have talent and my style of rap is promising, but lack the heart to drop a mixtape and do the marketing. Baby, I'm afraid of it failing. Pray for my self-esteem. I spent to pay homage to this last remaining childhood dream. It's all about your ability to believe in wanting something so bad. It's what you eat, drink, and breathe. I hear a beat and I instantly feel spirited. My mind switches to the mode of a masterful lyricist, so skillful with sentences, spitting just what
Welcome to the flight deck, everyone. Before we get into today's video too far, we will assume a few things. First off, that you know how to start the aircraft from a cold and dark state, and secondly, that you know how to load the FMC. With that, we'll get the flight underway.
Okay, hello ladies and gentlemen from the flight deck. Welcome aboard. They're going to be on the way shortly for the first leg. These three wonderful flight attendants, give them their attention as we push and taxi. They're going to give you plenty of attention en route. Enjoy the flight. We'll talk to you once airport.
If you do not meet the two requirements mentioned at the beginning of the video, that's okay. We'll go ahead and throw video links up in the top right here, so you can take a look at the cold and dark if you're interested, or you can start with engines running, and we'll throw that FMC link up here as well. So with that, we'll continue on through the flight. For today's video, again, we're really focusing on that departure procedure. We want to make sure our heading bug is set for our initial heading off the runway surface. And here you can see it's 275, so we're going to set that here on the mode control panel. And of course we'll set our altitude for the first restriction, as you can see, is Jetty, max 230 knots, and then that's below 12,000 feet, so we'll set that as well. And here we'll just verify our takeoff references, the V1 speeds and such. So all those look good. We'll continue on. And as this is a departure video, we have cut out the engine start, pushback, and the beginning part of the taxi. Let's take a look at the checklist on the yoke to see what we've missed. Checklists are exactly that, for checking. They're not do lists. In an ideal world, each pilot would be familiar with their aircraft and simply use a scan flow technique to prepare for each phase of operation, using the checklist to verify critical tasks have been performed. This is largely why type ratings exist. For sim pilots, we may hop from airframe to airframe and not fully develop this skill, making checklist use more critical. As we near the runway, let's take a look at our SID, or Standardized Instrument Departure Procedure, and familiarize ourselves with that on our way out. For today's flight, we'll be doing the Zoo to RNAV departure, and at the bottom left we will fly a 275 heading to Jetty with a max speed of 230 knots below 12,000 feet. It'll be a left turn to Zoo, onto George above 14,000 feet, Grider, Blues, and then finally out to Imperial. Now that we're ready for our departure on runway 27, we'll turn on our auto throttles, get our lights on, runway turn-offs. Taxi's okay. We'll put the start switches to continuous and get our strobe lights on as well, and finish with our wing and wheel well lights. We'll get those configured, and I was a little late there on getting the power over to the engine generators.
Okay, the cabin is secured.
So we'll go ahead and do
flight.
that and get the APU off. This should have been accomplished as we were leaving the gate there on our taxi out. We'll verify that our bleed switches are set. Put our packs to auto. APU bleeds off, pidotes are on. And we'll continue our flow here just to make sure everything is set up. So our fuel's okay. We'll take a look at our generator. 1 there, power, that's fine. Bus transfer is good. Circuit breakers are set. Belts are on. And heat's good. Probes, anti-ice, hydraulics. Temperature is 18 degrees outside, and we've got a lot of moisture, low clouds. So we'll go ahead and turn on the anti-ice. It may be okay, but we'll turn that on for the time being. Packs get our ISO to auto, and our pressurization is set. And it looks like our live traffic data may be creating something a little exciting there as we get an aircraft landing through the blast fence. Go ahead and start our taxi out here. Line up at runway 27 and prepare
approaching
for our departure.
27.
Alright, we'll
runway
select
27.
N1 here as we get lined up, which will command our engines to our 94.3%, our FMC takeoff data. A little positive pressure there to increase the nose wheel steering.
80 knots.
Continue tracking the center line as best we can here. Got a 7 knots, mostly off the nose.
V1, rotate.
Pull back here, get airborne.
Positive rate.
Positive rate, we'll get the gear up. Roll mode to LNAV. Put an RMAT here.
400.
And autopilot to command. Now this is going to engage the lateral navigation, so it will follow what we have programmed into FMC, as you can see. And then once we get it on VNAV, we start pulling the flaps up here, and the VNAV will track the
1000.
vertical flight profile that we have loaded in the FMC. We're just going to maintain and double check that the FMC is tracking as we head towards Jetty here. Retracting our flaps on schedule. You can see the speeds coming up. I think we're set at about 240 knots. They're actually active right there on our FMC is 230 knots on the climb. So the speed's holding at 230 as well. And we're crossing our turn now. It's in the clouds, so nothing to really look at outside there. And speed's increasing to 250 knots as we make the turn. We'll do our after takeoff flow. So auto brakes off, gear to off. And fly the airplane here. Next is air conditioning. So we have pressure increasing, and we have a pressurized cabin there at about 2,200 feet. So that is satisfactory there. Start switches, see landing gear up and off, auto brake off, flaps are up, and checklist complete. And as we break through the top of the clouds here, we'll turn off our engine anti-ice. We don't need that any longer. Continuing our climb here, speed steady as we head towards Zoo. not a whole lot to do now. It's just monitoring, making sure the aircraft is doing what we want it to do. Our next key is going to be 10,000 feet, where we'll be able to accelerate above 250 knots. Normally 270, 280. Most of the jets seem to be fairly standard. Got Mission Bay VOR tuned there on VOR 1. There it makes another adjustment to fly by zoom. We take a look here. Our FMC looks like it'll be above 14,000 feet. We'll adjust it, and that's for George, which we shouldn't have a problem doing that. We'll break 10,000 now. Alright, climb speed to 280. And lights can go off. There. Turn off, taxi. There's the start switches. I forgot to do that there. Eventually we'll get it. There we go. And logo. Steady on and collision. Wing come on.
1,000 to go.
Readjust our altimeter here, or not our altimeter, sorry, our altitude on the MCP. Our next waypoint we want to be above 14,000. We'll go ahead and adjust that for flight level 180. So obviously, once we go above that, we'll want to go to standard pressure. And just cleaning up our bugs here on the course and our heading. So yeah, that pretty much that completes how you fly an instrument departure. Once it's loaded up, the work's mostly done. You just monitor it and keep adjusting everything. Stay ahead of the aircraft as best you can. Using reserve fuel, that doesn't matter. We don't have a whole lot of fuel we're going to burn on the way to Phoenix today.
To go.
And as we are 1,000 to our initial altitude there of 180, we're going to adjust the speed here because that's what it shows on the chart. It hasn't been planned for a 0.78 Mach today, so we'll make that adjustment and execute it. Spin the altitude up here to our final cruise altitude today. It's a short flight over to Phoenix, so we're only going to go to 310 and hit altitude enter event here, and then it'll increase power and begin our climb from 180 up to 310 and reset altimeter for 29902 or standard, passing 180, flight level 180. We'll continue on here as we're almost at the end of our departure procedure. Again, pressurization's looking good. We have a cabin increase. And yeah, everything's looking all right there. Thank you for joining us on Flight Brothers FT, where we did a takeoff and departure. 737-700 Ultimate. Remember, plan the flight and fly the plane.